We're here with Ferose VR, Head of Globalization at SAP and Senior Vice President. Ferose, SAP is the leading enterprise software and services provider globally.
Yes.
In over 180 countries,
yes,
with customer base over 180 countries.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about translation, localization within the mix of the work that you do?
Yeah.
And is it seen as a revenue driver or a cost center?
It's a very broad question, so let me break it into two parts. One is what does localization mean from an SAP context? So I head an organization called Globalization Services, and there are two parts to it. One is what we call as localization, and our definition of localization is legal changes. And the language business is actually not called localization, it's called translation business inside SAP. Whereas outside, localization is equivalent to translation business, right? Both are equally important. The first one ensures that every SAP solution is delivered and runs legally compliant. So that's really mostly the legal part of it. And the second, which we call as internally translation business, is primarily making sure that the solutions are available in the local languages for a specific country. So that's two parts to it. It started off by being a cost center. So all my engineers, we didn't have revenue figures. We were expected to deliver solutions that run in a certain manner. But what I see is that globalization is a huge market opportunity. And we are kind of getting to a stage where we believe that our solutions and our products could drive revenue for the company. So we're kind of at that moment where we see a shift happening. And I think in the future, we would be one of the biggest opportunities to drive revenue for SAP. Okay,
so as this shift occurs and you start looking more towards revenue generation, are you buying and using available machine translation solutions within the mix of your workflow, or are you developing your own in-house?
Again, it's a combination of both. So we're building our own solutions, and in many cases, we are just using existing machine learning tools. But from a solution perspective, we have built a solution called SAP Translation Hub, which is basically an automated translation for solutions that SAP provides. Today, we found that a lot of our customers do their own localized version, and then they have to outsource that to translation companies to do the translation. For example, reports, right? I mean, legal reports are a huge amount of work, but most of the customers do it themselves. But then they also have to do the translation of these reports. Yes. We are providing now a tool that they can do these translation in-house. But as is with all machine learning, I think the crux is the accuracy, and these needs to have a high level of accuracy. So we are not there yet, but I think it's only a matter of time before these tools become as accurate or even better than human translation.
Okay, so just to clarify, where are you in the development of this product and its rollout, and how wide is its use if it's in
so as of today, we released this product last year. We had a little over 100 customers who were using this, and they found it useful. But we are kind of doing a slow go-to-market approach because we want to get to a high level of accuracy first before we go a big bang approach. So we are in the phase where we are kind of taking customer feedback right now with respect to the usage of the tool.
Okay, so if you could look 2 or 3 years into the future, where would you want to be?
That's what I just shared at the conference. I think we are moving from a web-based translation to voice-based translation, at least in the next 3 to 5 years. I think you would see a huge shift to voice-based translation. The question is all about where is the tipping point? At what point do you see voice kind of overtaking the web-based translation? My prediction is probably 5 years, but a lot of technologists in the Silicon Valley is a lot more optimistic. They say in the next 3 years, that kind of translation, voice-based translation, would probably would overtake everything else. But my core belief is that at the end of the day, the thing that translation is very difficult to crack is when it comes to human emotions. When it comes to cultural nuances. Yes. I think those are much more difficult to crack, and hence I believe that is still a long distance away.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.